All right, let's get started. Once again, welcome to our Appulate 13 beginner guide. My name is Anastasia Gumenikova, and below in this slide, you can see my email addresses that you can use to reach out to me anytime that you have any technical related questions, any platform related questions. And below, you can see our support email address that you can use for any technical related questions. And in order to start, we will move on following this link. So this is the first step that you need to do in order to go to Appulate. So this is our main site /browse. So once you log into Appulate, you start right through this page, and here we use this login button to get access to your account. And okay, I noticed that there is a comment regarding the echo. Just give me a moment, I will double check. Can anyone else in the chat confirm that you can also have the same issue?
She signed in twice, Anastasia. It's okay.
Okay, all right, perfect. Let's just move on. So we click this login button in order to move on to the page where we start logging into the system. If you are brand new with Appulate and you are not sure if you haven't started your account or not, please use the sign up button. And if you already have your account, the system will redirect you here. Another useful button here is forgot password. Just in case you forgot it, you can click this button and the system will send an email with the password reset link on your mailbox. I will move on with my testing email address to login. And once you completed this step, you will be redirected here on your main Appulate landing page. And this is the page where you will keep all your insurance records. And as you can see, the first step that the system suggests you is to create your insurance record. And this is the way you can do it manually. We have the same buttons, one for fresh and new insurance will be placed in the middle, and the one for further insurance will be placed in the upper right hand corner here. But I'd like to focus on another method that will help to save you a bunch of time on retyping this information manually. And for this, you need to install one tool on your computer. You can find this tool under the Tools button on the main toolbar here. Just click on it, and this is the third option, Appulate Uplink. So Appulate Uplink is the tool that bridges your Accord form data right to the system. And the system, meaning Appulate, creates insurance record and core requests automatically for you, bridging basically everything which you have in your form. So let's take a look the way it works. And I will go back for this and I will open my Accord form in my regular reader. You can do the same thing from your computer. This method also works from your AMS. So if you work with Accord forms using any of AMS, you can simply repeat my steps, but within your system, and Appulate will also synchronize it. So what you need to do is just simply try to print this form, and this is what we are going to do right now. And instead of the regular printer that you may have here in this line, you need to select Appulate Uplink. So Appulate Uplink will appear for you once you have it installed on your computer. And then I also check paper size details. They should be compatible with US letter. And then I just click print. Then the system opens this pop-up asking me to provide my credentials. We're good here, so I just click send. And now it takes few seconds to get me redirected to a separate browser tab. You will have the same screen on your site once you will start your bridging. And you can see that the business lines that I had in my accord form is identified automatically. This is workers' compensation in this example. But if you work with generic specific business line, you can use this drop down and select the needed business line in this list. If you work with different packages, please select package within this list to move on further. But in this example, I will move on with the workers' compensation. So I click continue, and then I just click send. And in just a few seconds, the system generates a core request for me. And you can see that I have my insured name listed in the upper left-hand corner here. Then we have folder icon with abbreviations of my business line, workers' compensation. And then I have effective and expiration dates options under this calendar icon. I can change this data because it's very outdated. So let's do it together. We can click today. And once we change effective date, expiration dates changes automatically. And click Save Next. After this, I want to check information about my client. So I click on the insured name here in the upper left-hand corner and get redirected to the insured profile page. So here you can see one gray rectangle where Appulate keeps insured information, and this information can be edited by clicking this pencil icon. Once this information is changed, you can just click Save. If you want to have additional core request with this insured, you can use this button, create a request new quote, and your client will have several core requests within this page. And in the middle of this page, you can see our core request for workers' compensation with our effective and expiration dates. So we will move on with this one. Simply click on this core request and you will be redirected in the middle of the core request itself. When we check the information about the insured, we want to check the data that has been breached to the system. And we have the insured tab to the left of the core request. We need to click on it to get access to the general questionnaire. And you can see that some fields are already filled in for me. And basically, this is everything what I had in my Accord form. You can work with this information. You can make some changes if it's needed. You can add something additional. But what else great that we have on this page is the option that allows you to send some questions or even the whole questionnaire to your insured. In the upper right-hand corner here, we have this button, Ask Insured. So we can click on it to provide our clients details. Let's do it together. And once this information is provided, we can move on to the section where we start selecting questions specifically. So you can see I have question sections, and by default, all of them are checked, but I can expand the list and select only the questions that I want to send to my client. For example, I want to include underwriting section. And once I selected everything, the third step will be here just to generate email with the link attached. Let me show you the way it looks. You can see insured client email is here. Then below we have the body part, and this body part, you can change it, but please make sure that this link is here because this is where your client clicks and they get redirected to the page with these questions, the questions that we've selected together. And let me also show you the way it will be displayed for your customer once you send it to their mailbox. We have this button preview, and it displays simply the same page that we will send to the customer. You can see that the body part is included. We have got information about the agency, and below are our questions. So what happens when your client receives this email with this link? Your client completes this information and then clicks send, and this information goes to your Appulate account automatically. You receive an email notification notifying you that the questionnaire has been completed. So the only step for you will be just to log into your Appulate account, go to this questionnaire, and check if the data has been provided accurately. So this is the way you can save you some time and ask your client to help you with your daily routine. So here we work with the data, and once everything is saved and we're ready to move on, we go to the call request page. Within this page, we start working with the markets. And before I will dive into the markets, I want to elaborate on different styles of submissions that Appulate provides you with. This information is also available for you right within your account, and this is located under the Help button. The page is called Submission Metrics. So within this page, you can find the list of all markets that we have in the system, and they work upon different business lines, and you can limit this and filter this limit by personal or commercial lines only. And as you may notice that, oh yeah, and another thing that we also have here, the line above, these are abbreviations of different business lines. They will be listed here. And you may notice these icons above. So let me dive into what do they mean. Some markets that we have in Appulate, we call them open brokerage markets. These are our partners, and with these markets, you can get a quote without having a direct appointment, but this works only if you want to get a quote. Further, if you want to bind with them, you still need a direct appointment because this is just market requirements. And these markets in the list will be marked with this orange clover icon. So if it's a quote only question, you can also try this open brokerage in our system. Another partners that we have in Appulate will be marked with this green clover icon. And these Appulate markets, they are our partners, and they use Appulate as their own system. When you start working with these markets, the majority of information, depending on the underwriter's preferences, will be placed for you right in your system. Pretty neat in terms of saving some time. And sometimes you may notice that some markets will be marked with this green clover icon plus this lightning bolt. This is what we call instant quote. And this is where you get immediate results upon your quote request. Whether it is approved or declined, you will see it immediately in your Appulate account. So for example, let me scroll a little bit just to show you the way it looks in our markets list. Like as we have it with dual, you can see two business lines will be marked with instant quote. And another style of submission that is available for our premium customers will be marked with this globe icon, and we have 4 different globes. So let me elaborate on them. So WebLink style of submission is a type of submission when Appulate collects all the information that you, so not Appulate, but you gather all information in our system, and we help to bridge this information to the carrier's website. Um, and depending on the carrier, the level of data will be different. So if you see that carrier contains this one box next to the globe, it means that only your login details will be breached. If there are 2 boxes, this is general information about the agency and agent. 3 boxes, one of the most popular, this is when we breach your accord form data. And some markets will have comprehensive level of data. This is when they also accept market default information, and we also bridge it to the carrier's website portals. So this is our submission metrics. And if you are searching for a specific carrier, please feel free to use this search button, search bar to search for your market. But let's go back to our request for quote to take a look on the way you can submit. So we have this find markets button, and this is where you start working with different markets. Within this pop-up, you can see several sections. The first section is My Markets. This is the list of your favorite markets that you selected before you started working with them. So they will be listed as a top ones in this list. And the list might be different depending on the business line that is currently used for a quote request. So this list of markets is displayed for workers' compensation. If it is general liability, for example, the list might be different. Then below we have our partners, open brokerage markets. Markets who can provide you with a quote without having a direct appointment with them. And below, we have other markets that exist in Appulate. And if you are searching for a specific market, we have the search bar. So I'm going to use one testing carrier just to show you the way we can submit. So once we select this market or carrier, it will be displayed in your quote request. Simply click the Start Quote button to get redirected to the next page. And the next page will be market-specific questionnaire. You can see that some areas are already pre-filled. This is because we bridged it through our Accord form. But some questions will be marked with these red numbers, and in this list, they will have this red asterisks, meaning that you need to answer these questions in order to move on with your submission. So we have this Show Required Questions Only button. You can use it just to display only the required questions. And let's complete this information together just to check the way it works. Then we also have the button Mark All Yes and Mark All No for multiple choice questions, and some empty gaps. And whenever everything is completed, okay, I have something else here, okay. When all questions are completed, you will see no red numbers as well as red asterisks in this list, meaning that you can move on with the request quote. Click on it and the system will take a few seconds to send your results to the carrier's servers. And after this, the system will send you the result back to your system. In this particular case, since I work with testing carrier, I received indication. If you work with the real one, the quote will be displayed for you here. And if there is a market, let's say without this lightning bolt, and your underwriter provided you a quote, you will see it right immediately here in your Appulate account. I'm uploading a quote from my computer right now just to show you the way you can work after, so you could understand the way we can process the binding. And speaking about binding, this is the process that you can do only with the carriers you are appointed with. So before moving on with the binding, yeah, please make sure that you have a direct appointment and you have your credentials with the carrier. So once you have the quote under the carrier's name, you are ready to bind with it. But I wanted to show you another thing before we will move on, and this is the way we can share the data with our clients. So we can share one quote one by one using the button here, share with Insured. But let's imagine you have several market several carriers and different quotes under this list, you can go to this compare quotes button and select the option select all. Then the system will present you the option share with insured, and this is where you can specify the information about your clients. Since you already have this information in your insured profile, it will be displayed automatically. And then you send email to your customer with the link attached, and your customer will get access to this page. And the main information about the quote will be listed here. So in this example, I have only one quote, but let's imagine I have three different quotes. I would have three different columns following one each other here, containing basic information below, plus the quote itself and questionnaire also included. So your customer receives like a menu in a restaurant that they can use to share this information and decide what works best for them. So this is the way you can also save you some time and share different quotes at once. But let's move on back to the quote request and take a look on how we can bind. Once we received all information from the client, we can and we're ready to bind, we can click this three-dot menu button and select the option bind. Um, I'm using my testing carrier, so I will use mark as bound, but in your case, this is bind option. Um, and once it is bound, you get access to a policy page. Let's give the system a few seconds. So this is the policy page that the system generates for you automatically. You can see summary contains basic details. You can edit this information. And what is great that in this pop-up at the very bottom, we have option automatic remarketing. So let's imagine in the next year, you decided to have the same insurance record and quote request. You can save you some time just right now. And in the next year, the system will create the same quote requests with the same parameters saved. And the only information that you need to update is the date. Plus, you also need to add new carriers. This is just because Appulate will generate a new quote request for you. So this is regarding the policy. And once the information is collected here, you have an option to create a certificate of insurance. This is one of the recent features that has been released in Appulate. And this is something that also works in a few seconds. So you can go and click this create certificate button, and then you will be redirected to the place where system asks you to provide general information about the holder. So let's complete this information together. And when the details are provided, you move on to the section with policies. Then the system displays your policy, you can include it, and then you just move on to the questions. And this information also will contain data that previously has been breached. In my cases, you can see some gaps are just empty. This is just because I didn't fill in this information from the very start. And once this information is checked and you're ready to move on with your certificate, you can just click complete, and then the system suggests you few options. One of them is just to view your certificate or sign it. If you click sign, the system asks you to provide a representative. That's going to be me as an agent, and I just click sign. Then it opens an electronical tool with my certificate included. So basically, this is the certificate itself, and I can provide my signature at the place where the arrow points. So let's do it together. And when the signature is included, I can finalize and sign my certificate of insurance. Further steps will be to send this information to the client. I can click this three-dot menu button and use this option send by email, or I can download it on my computer. I can check the signing status, cancel, or delete. And this is the main workflow that you can start with. And I'm opening my chat section just to see if you have, no, sorry, questionnaire, just to see if you have any questions. All right, I don't see any questions so far. While we waiting for any questions, let me go to the page where I have my email addresses and our support email address. So you could use this information once you have any platform related questions or technical questions. All right, I don't see any questions so far, and it looks like was quite specific and detailed today. But just in case you will have any other questions right after webinar, don't hesitate this using these email addresses, and we will also share the recording of today's webinar with you and within a day. So please expect email from us. Thanks a lot for your time and attention, and have a wonderful rest of the week.